was 22-year-old Fabio Bartolotta, an individual with strong family ties to defendants convicted in connection with the Pizza Connection narcotics distribution case of the 1980s.
Out of a coffee shop in the Ridgewood section of Queens to have engaged in numerous armed robberies and other violent crimes across Queens County over the past.
And it's a shame I'm not the man I used to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 52 Topics with Frank Fiordolino. Ridgewood, a true story. Season 3, Episode 7. The Butcher Shop. So, Frank, in Episode 6, we finally covered the Vinnie Unions hit. A lot of people got to hear some things they probably never heard in reference to that incident. Now, I assume, we touched on some of the stuff with what was going on at the funeral parlor and all this other stuff, but I assume there's a lot going on in the aftermath of that, man. So what's going on?
Well, for one, Anthony Christopher, who organized the vehicles to be at that hit, that night was driving by and he seen the commotion. And obviously he noticed the cars, one of them that he had stolen and the box truck. So he put two and two together. Took him about, even for Anthony Christopher, about a minute. And he was kind of perturbed. He got mad. Like, there you go. He got pretty pissed off. He said, what the fuck happened here? And if something happened, obviously there's a body. I want to know why I wasn't informed. I mean, I'm part of this clique. Why didn't they tell me? So he's going towards the funeral that night. Anthony Christopher is. And he sees Vito. Vito runs up to him. He goes, bro, get out of here. He goes, you don't have to be here. He goes, but what happened? Why didn't you tell me? I would have helped out, whatever. I would have been there. He goes, bro, that's not important, man. He goes, I don't need you to be involved with this. You know what I mean? This is big. I need you out here. He was blowing smoke up his ass. Obviously, Anthony had a problem with drugs. And even though Vito might have trusted him, the rest of the Ridgewood kids didn't. Ones involved. And then you even had like a guy like Paul. He didn't like Anthony the most. He just didn't like around him. He had incidents with him when we were younger, and he always was quick to make a sly remark. And Joe O'Kane was another one who didn't like Anthony Christopher, probably more than Paul. So that's where that was there. And Vito was trying to play mediator. He goes, how about if something happened to you? And secondly, he goes, people know you're close to me. Stay out of the fucking neighborhood. Do me a favor, because if people start wanting to know things, they're going to grab you, stick you in a basement, and fucking start torturing your ass until you tell them you know something. Just lay low. In Anthony Christopher's fucking, own ways, not giving a fuck about nothing. He's going from bar to bar until like Vito finds out he's hanging out in this place called the Outfield Inn. And he calls him out on it. He goes, what the fuck were you doing there? What did I tell you? He goes, I told you, man, you got to lay low. Got to lay low. So that's where he is. So Anthony kind of lays low. And this is about the same time that like the group starts doing kind of their own thing. And there's reasons behind that. For example, the Middle Village faction of this crew, they're more under the orders of Vito. And then you got the other Ridgewood side of it that's more like Paul and Fabio. And about this time, Fabio's taking a lot of heat from Patsy Conti. He asks him, "You know anything about up in Caldwell?" Fabio goes, "No, of course not. Don't let me find out you and your fucking uncle had something to do with that." And Fabio goes, "No, I swear to God, we got nothing to do with that." He goes, "Because I'm hearing a lot of things about this Vito guy, and I know you're close to him. And I just hope you're not involved with this kind of stuff, especially when not coming to me." Told them no. So they started getting vibes that, they could get, they're ready up to their fourth murder together. And not only that, Bob helps them go look for his fucking nephew, Joe Conti. So it's a slippery slope. There's Bobby going around. He's looking for who killed Ralph Schuler. And he's getting kind of like not enough evidence, but not evidence because he wasn't a fucking word on the street. He was getting enough words on the street that Vito might have had something to do with Ralph. So, you got all these Gambino guys, and they really don't like him. The Italian faction, the Sicilian faction wasn't crazy about him at that time. They kind of get close later. A couple of the guys I grew up with, he had a brawl out with the kid Joe DeLeo. Vito did, and Joe DeLeo was a big part of that Patsy Conti faction, the younger generation. So, you're ruffling feathers. And Fabio at this time kind of like says, let me start doing my own thing. His mom is opening him up a pizza shop for him and his uncle Paul in Manhattan around this time. It's called Goodfellas. We'll get to that. You like that name?
Yeah. Good one, guys.
It's by the World Trade Center. And listen close. This is where it gets.
What's that, like Tribeca somewhat over there?
I don't know, but it's by the World Trade Center. I remember when the first World Trade Center bombing.
Yeah, 93, yeah.
The actual kid Fabio was putting the keys in the door, and he heard the explosion. So this is around 93.
Yeah.
So they're doing their thing. They're like, let's just chill out. Vito's doing his thing. He got these car thieves. He got these stick-up kids. And Brian Lindemann, another kid, younger kid. He's got Peter Caffrey. And Joe Scilara is like the mediator between the younger Middle Village kids and Paul and Fabio. Because he grew up in that area. Joe Scilara did, who happens to be Toto Catalano's nephew. So that's where they are right there. And Anthony Christopher is hanging out with John Clemenza. They're doing jobs by themselves. They robbed the boys at a truck. They tied the guy up. The guy untied himself, starts coming out, and they start shooting at him because, they gotten his money. He had a drop on him. They got his money, so the guy just was like, fuck this. And there was a big-ass fucking chase. One thing about Anthony Christopher, he was a really good getaway driver. And they got chased for about 4 or 5 blocks, ditched the car, went into a bush, him and Clemenza. They took their clothes off. It was the summertime because not all their clothes off, but the outer clothes. And they went their separate ways and they got away. But I remember John Clemenza back in the day raving about how great of a fucking driver Corky was,
So in terms of Vito being that sort of way, I mean, you say he's got car thieves, he's got stick-up kids, he's got this. So it would seem to be a smart way of doing things if he's trying to establish himself, that he has different people do different things, right? It's not like, I'm not saying that obviously he had a core group of friends that he was murdering with that he trusted, I suppose, but it doesn't seem like everybody that was with him was killing people, let's say, for example. It seems like the work is delegated. Is that fair to say?
Very fair to say. Yes, he had his own crew of killers. But as he goes along, though, that changes too, where he was more delicate on who he was going to pick. As he got older, and these guys were going to jail,
Yeah.
he kind of like kind of had a lot of trust in a lot of people, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, you live and learn, right? But it seems like he's aiming, and I say smart. I mean, and I guess in terms of that life, which I know nothing about, but kind of a smart way to go about it. And there's you too. What's going on, man? What about you?
So at this time, I kind of quit Giannini's. I was supposed to work the Baccarat game, but I didn't want it. It went back to Knickerbocker Avenue. It was at Giannini's, the Baccarat game, but it went to Knickerbocker Avenue that the old Knickerbocker Avenue. But the only problem was it wasn't the old Knickerbocker Avenue. People were afraid to go. They were afraid of getting robbed. The neighborhood was totally different, and it wasn't doing as well as it did in the past. And I was kind of over it. I wanted to do my own thing. I seen people were doing things. People were getting chances at making money with people, and I wasn't getting that with my uncle, and I wasn't getting that just sticking in a fucking coffee shop all the time. So I kind of started making my own fucking like set of friends. I had my friends, but these were like a second set. And I don't know if we were fucking doing criminal stuff that much, but we always kept an eye about who was doing what. So maybe we could jump on that. Back to Cypress Avenue, where I told you I used to go. It was the Galantes, Joe, the father, and the son. And they had a cousin. This is very important. He comes into the picture, named Tony. Okay. So I got along with Tony really good. In and out of prison, also had problems with drugs at one time, but he was family, and he was a funny guy to hang out, quiet type, and kind of no nonsense. They all grew up in East New York. At one time they used to hang out with the Caniglia guy, the guy with the beard, not John, but the brother.
Yeah, Charles. Yeah.
Right. Tony does time with Mark Terragosa. They do a 5-year bid. They went to look for a safe, and the guy would open a safe, and they just started burning them with a fucking blowtorch. So he opened it up. Tony ended up getting like 10. Mike got 5. Mark Terragosa got 5. Mark Terragosa is another kid, grew up around the Ridgewood kids, but was a drifter as well. He was with the Serbian kids more than probably us at one time. I mean, the kids up in Gates. So they were always around as well. But when Tony comes out, he's back on Cypress Avenue with his cousin. We hang out. And for the most part, Joe Galante Jr., not the father, the one I hang out with, is in good graces with Vito Grimaldi. They were around. The father was in excellent graces, friends for a very long time. And then there was Joe Jr. So Joe Jr. was looking to open up a club at the time. And he gave him the okay, and he opened one up on Woodward and Harmon. That was right in Ridgewood, considered like mid-Ridgewood, not so much lower. And he opens up a club. He gets machines, and they put in Louis Restivo's machines in that place. I know because we'll get to that later. So he has his club, and unbeknownst to me at the time, Joe had a problem with cocaine. And not only that, his marriage was on the cusp, not on the cusp, on the outs, on the cusp, on the outs, and
On the cusp of being on the outs.
right. And he was dealing a lot with the Serbian kids, stealing cars, doing the tag jobs, selling these cars to a gypsy clan who would in return sell them to Canada. You follow me?
Yeah.
And this gypsy clan was in and out of Ridgewood at the time. They were Romanian gypsies, or people of Romany descent, whatever the fuck. So much for being politically correct. But he had this in. There was 2 guys he dealt with. He dealt with this guy Thomas, who was a big tall guy, about 6'3", and another guy who was young, was smaller, gypsy guy, all jewelry and stuff. They were very cocky, very like, didn't give a fuck. about as long as they figured as long as I'm not doing anything wrong, I don't give a fuck what Italians around here think, you know. And but they had this connection with Joe. They were dealing in registrations, cars, tag jobs, and all. And who was the smaller guy? He had this guy. His name, I don't remember his name. They called him Stinky because, like most Eastern Europeans, he didn't wash his fucking underarms and he smelled. You know what I mean? And then he put on fucking tons. Short guy. They put tons of fucking cologne on. And he gets to know this guy. They deal with each other. And at this time, I get closer to Tony, Joe's cousin. We end up going to different places. Like we run the balls off our ass. So the Serbian kids come up with a scam that they go to freaking with fucked up credit cards. They go to Atlantic City and they get tens of thousands of dollars, 5 year, 15. So the kid Tony goes, come on, let's go drive and follow them up there, meet them there. I know where they're at and try to fucking take them for what the fuck, at least get us involved in the scam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we we're doing things like that. I mean, I remember we go down there and they seem like, me especially, they say, oh, fuck this. He wants something, you know what I mean? So they're getting cocky. And Tony's up like, well, fuck them. We'll fucking take it from them. I said, take it easy, man. We know them. It's not like that. They have this one guy they like recruited in this, just like redneck guy. He looked like if Italians had Donnie Brasco, this was their guy. He just stuck out, you understand? And he was a little bit, yeah.
He was like a Romani, like a Gypsy, whatever you want to call it.
No, he was with the Serbian kids at the time. We were doing the scam in Atlantic City. Okay. He was like from fucking like Louisiana or something. His name was Ben. I remember that. He goes, hey, man, nah, we don't share with nobody. I said, all right, this guy wants us to fucking stab him up or something. He almost got intense. I said, fuck it. You know what? We'll deal with it when they come back with money. I don't know if this guy's a fucking cop. He's too brave for me. So we just left. We left and they come back. And as we come back, we stopped. And I mean, this is where our minds were at the time. It was really fucked up. Me and Tony stopped into Joe's club, the new club he got on Woodward and Harmon. And they have this fucking cocky kid who's working as like the coffee guy there. And he's a cocky fuck. He's always making stupid comments. He thinks it's funny. He's a Castellamidese kid. He told me his father got arrested before. I was like, hey, what's up? What's going on? But this was going on for like a week or two. This was much direct anger. We just fucking end up beating his ass for about 30 minutes straight.
Where'd he come from? Who was he? He was just like some random neighborhood kid or?
Some kid, John, good kid. He was a good kid. I seen him years after, like a year.
Okay, but he wasn't like his uncle or his dad wasn't like.
His dad was a heroin dealer, one of the tentacles of the cases, but he got deported. He was a Castellamidese kid. But he was just a wise ass. I mean, we pretended we made him, cut his hand, everything. Like you're good now. You're one of us. Guy had like fucking raccoon eyes. You know? Yeah. And he quit his job. I seen him after we opened the Eagle's Nest. And my brother took a liking to him, which made him more comfortable being around me. And I apologized. I go, dude, what happened last time? I'm glad he had a baby at the time. And I was like, good, man. You did good. You stay away from that shit. You don't want nothing to do with that. But he wasn't a wise ass anymore either,
Yeah.
So I guess it worked out. It worked out in that sense. Anyhow, like I said, unbeknownst to me, this kid Joe, always on the, whatever. He was cool. He was good with his hand. Not good with his hands. He needed to pick up a pipe. He picked up a pipe, chocolate. But he was doing drugs. He was doing cocaine. And I see him, and he was spending a lot of money on the Joker poker machines in his own place. So he had to come up with that money after, like he was playing to win in his own place, like skiing out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's crazy. Getting high in your own supply, but you don't know if you're gonna get high. It's just like fucking
right. So
weird.
What the fuck do I know? He comes up to me one day. He goes, "Hey, that fucking?" He calls him Lurch. I go, "What about him?" He goes, "That fucking guy. He's coming into some money. He got a lot of bonds too. Like bond. I'm not gonna do nothing with bonds." He goes, but he got like fucking 5 kilos. He goes, I want to take him out. Fucking take this shit. I said, all right, just where? I mean, you got all this planned? When? How? Who we using? He goes, well, you got Tony, you, me. I said, I'll see if I could bring a friend with me. I said, but yeah, I'm interested. You know, I was out of work, fucking 5 keys at the time. It was in my mind, and the state of mind I was in that time was where I wanted this. You know, Goodfellas was a year old. I wasn't thinking right. And I wanted to be in the mob, and I definitely was gung-ho about this shit. I just shot somebody a couple months before. So, yeah, I need everybody. If you notice, I needed my soft spot. I hate to say this, but everybody who goes into the mob, all you people that listen to this stuff, all these guys that you kind of look up to, or even not look up to, just on their roads to that life, they mostly all started with a soft spot. So this was my soft spot. I said, fuck it. Yeah. Not so much for the money, but I could use it, and I could use the reputation that comes with it. I'm not going to go around advertising, but people just know when shit happens. You know what I mean? And I said, yeah. I go, you're thinking your club though, right, Joe? He goes, yeah. So now his club was an old Yugoslavian knit market. You know what I mean? If they would take a toxicology report of it, they would find a million things wrong with it, okay?
Wait, you said Yugoslavia? What was it again?
It was a knitting company, like a factory.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Like one of those slave factories.
I was gonna say like a sweatshop or something.
Yeah, he put in a counter. We had a back room where we played cards. There was another room for the Joker poker machines, and a long hallway that connected to another store that was a butcher shop. The butcher shop was owned by this guy from Palermo. What the hell was his name? Zarcone or something like that. And he had that place in the back. So if he wanted to go get some sodas or something that night, he just opened up that lock and he could go in there. The fucking guy, we used to use his phone to make fucking long distance phone calls, like sex phone and shit, to fuck around. The guy used to get like $200, $300 bills.
Yeah.
I remember one night there was one of these games in the West Coast, and back then you could listen to the games on the phone. And I bet it. So I listened to the whole half, second half. It must have cost him like $400. He was pissed. Yeah, so it doesn't stop there.
And where was this club at? Where was this situated?
On Woodward and Harmon.
Woodward and Harmon. Okay.
And Ridgewood. So back to Thomas, the Gypsy guy. Joe was putting the plan together, how we could get together with this guy. Because like I told you, we were short on time. He was looking to go back to Yugoslavia for vacation and come back or whatever the fuck. Who knows? So we were like, well, okay, just let me know. So around February 12th of 93, I remember this day very well. I was shoveling snow. My mom, I said, yeah, I got the snow outside of me, so I don't want you falling out there. So right on Fresh Pond Road, I'm shoveling, and I see Tony driving by. Tony, Joe's cousin. I go, what's up? He goes, my cousin was looking for you, and we're going to be up there because that guy is around, that fucking guy we were talking about, and we might do it tonight. I said, okay, just give me 5 minutes. I'll come right out. And I come out, put on my jacket, get with him, and we head towards Cyprus. I'm like, okay, what's your thing? He goes, do you have a pistol? I said, I had one, but actually I do have one, but I don't have one with the clip because I gotten rid of the clip. I lost it or something. It wasn't used on anything. I just can't find it. Sometimes you put the clip away from a fucking gun because who knows? There might be a kid around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, but there's there a couple of bullets here and all. He goes, you know anybody who might have a gun? Mistake number one. He goes, yeah, let's go ask Mark Terragosa. I said, okay. He lives around my club. So we go to Mark Terragosa. It's me and actually Joe. I go, hey. I go, you have a gun laying around or something like that? I need a gun for tonight. I told him for a stick up, whatever. because it wasn't rare to borrow something for a sticker. He goes, no, I don't got nothing on me. Fuck, I don't keep it in the house. I still got paper. He's on parole. I said, oh, all right, cool. And that haunts me right there. We go back to the coffee shop on Cypress, and Joe goes, look, I'm gonna go visit this guy. I'll have my cousin in the club, and I brought somebody else with me, which I'm not gonna mention. I said, who'll be in the club there too? He goes, when we come up, I'll pick you up. You drive in the back. And with that gun, I said, I could take him out. I said, but I don't want to take a chance because the shot coming from the chamber from a 25 or 22 is a strong shot. It's the strongest shot you're going to get. And if you go up close, it goes. But if it don't go, then, we got a problem. He's a big guy. We're going to have to fucking like stab him or something and take his shit. But if we do this when we get to the club, when we have the guys ambush him, I'll come in and just shoot him and we'll take his shit there, lock him up, get the body out of there, and we fuck, we leave. He goes, that's a good idea. So back to the guys, we had them waiting in the club. Nobody was there. It was dark. It was snowing. I said, okay. So when you come here, I get in the car with you. Now, mind you, I've never had I've seen this guy maybe 5-6 times. Never had a conversation with him. Really, when you just don't like you don't like me probably, and I didn't like him. That was that kind of vibe I got. So that was bad for him. That I just off the get-go, you know what I mean? And he passes by Cypress. I remember the bartender that was this guy Mimo. And he seen me get in the car. He goes, look, Joe's there. And he actually seen who I got in the car with too, because he knows this guy. So I'm like, oh, fuck. So that's mistake number 2. But Mimo never said anything. I seen paperwork later. It wasn't, But anyhow, that's a mistake. So we drive there. It's about 10 blocks. It's snowing, a lot of snow. And I was driving. I said, I got the gun on me. I said, let me just fucking clip him here, take the stuff and leave. But no, we just kept on going. We had the other 2 guys waiting. Matter of fact, they opened the butcher shop that was connected to the club and took knives just in case the gun didn't shoot off, didn't go off. So we get there. When we get there, we have also a van to carry his body after we kill him. When we get there, Joe opens the door. He follows Joe. I'm behind him. When I'm behind him, I take out the gun, small caliber, put it to his head, and shoot him. When I shoot him, he falls right, and he's a big man. He falls, he makes a thump. Boom. When he thumps out, one of the guys stabs him and makes sure for good measure he's out. While we do that, we take everything. We take his stuff, and we start going through the motions of getting his body there. But the gunshot was so loud, one of the neighbors, I found out later, had calling the cops. So I'm like, guys, get this fucking guy out of here. The guy wouldn't die. So Tony goes from one side of his neck to another and fucking cuts him. The guy I brought ran for the fucking hills. All right? He got spoofed. I said, look at this shit. I go, them 2 guys, I guess fucking he looked like he was fucking on something, Joe, after that. Getting all fucking excited and everything. The other kid was calm and collective, but he was putting Joe was putting him in a bad place. So they were making a lot of noise getting this guy out of there. While they were getting him out of there, they put him in the van. And then for some reason, they say, fuck it, let's put him in his car. They changed their mind. People actually see them at like 11:30 at night carrying this guy and putting him in the back of his car.
Jesus.
It's a fucking madhouse. I'm talking about everybody wants to do big things until big things happen. And then you're like, look at this fucking people. Are they kidding? I told them, hey, listen, just get the fuck out of here. I mean, this is incredible. This is inside of just get out of here. So they leave. When they leave, I said, fuck, there's blood all over this fucking place because he cut him from one ear to the other. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah,
like,
man.
where the fuck do I start? So I'm looking for a fucking mop bucket. I said, fuck, I'll clean this place up. I don't think they made that much fucking noise. And as I look out, I see a cop car fucking circling. You know, a regular patrol car that fucking somebody called. There's like blood on the snow. The place is dark. And I said, well, I can't come out now, or these guys are coming in. When they make a second trip, because I can't run far. I'm not in a vehicle. I'm nowhere. So as he makes a second turn, I come out and pretend I'm coming in, and then come out again. And they put a flashlight. Goes, hey, we just got a call here. I go, yeah, I won't go. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened in there, but I want to get the. I'm glad you guys are here. You know, now mind you, I got no blood on me, and I'm the shooter. I got no blood on me.
Yeah.
But if you go in there, it looks like a fucking slaughterhouse. They're like, what the fuck happened here? So the one cop, he knows me from the neighborhood. You hang out on Gates and Freshman. I said, sometimes I'm trying to fucking eliminate myself. I said, sometimes he go, and the other cop goes, how'd you get blood on top of your shoe? He tells me. I said, I don't know. I walked in there. It was dark. I don't know where I was walking. Nice. I was acting scared. The other guy tells him, hey, don't ask him no questions. Just wait till the detectives come. And while I'm waiting there with this fucking guy, this guy's telling me, hey, you know, he's talking about Lucky Luciano and shit. The cop.
What?
Yeah, like, you know, my cousins, they used to run around back in the days. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like, oh, I'm fucked. I'm going to Rikers tonight. There's no doubt about it. You know what I mean? I said, I'm fucked. And back to making a long story short, detectives come. They go from where because apparently this was like, they kept me there for an hour and they dumped the body in Greenpoint where Randall Pizzolo was that stretch.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's Brooklyn North. So the guy goes, he goes, you know, we were just down there. You mind if we take you to the precinct? Now, at the time, we had beepers. I put it on silent. I felt like throwing it out. Somebody was beating me a lot. It had to be one of them two, the cousin or Joe. I'm like, what the fuck they beeping me for? They go, you mind you come to the precinct with us? So look, I didn't do nothing. Yeah. Okay. Come to the precinct with him. And he goes, you mind if we take a residue test, you know, the gunpowder residue?
Yeah. Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's do it. Now, I was like, I didn't think nothing of it. Fucking residue. I'm like, I didn't shoot a lot. It won't show. I wasn't thinking that. I wasn't thinking advance. I said, let's do it. You know, what the fuck? You know, I would have said I smoke. I don't know. Anyhow, nothing came up. They
Really?
go, okay, nothing. Yeah, they let me go. So they go like this. We're going to let you go, but tomorrow we might call you. And, you know, Detective Wolf, I said, yeah. We talked about him with when Mike was there. Remember when Mike was on the show?
Yeah.
The detective, we talked about Detective Wolf. I said, yeah, I know him. I mean, not that good, whatever. Because he might call you. I said, okay. I'm thinking, run, motherfucker. You know what I mean? If I get that chance. But they gave me a residue test and they didn't, nothing came up. I said, maybe I got a shot at this. Mistake number 3. You know? So I go home. Next day, I get that call. I told my mom, hey, you got Mario Malabra's number, Mom? She goes, what the fuck did you do? I said, I didn't do nothing. I might need it. You know, she goes, okay, let me look for it. For a friend of mine. She goes, sure. Poor woman, what I put it through, right? So I end up going to the 104th. And then the interrogation begins.
Whatsoever